Hello everyone and welcome to Oxygen Not Included. Now if you're looking at this game and you're looking at the background and things look a little bit familiar to you because you're a PC gamer, then you're correct. This is a game that has been developed by the same company as Don't Starve. That's why everything looks a little bit kind of weird. It's got that same kind of little play style to it. Not play style exactly, but it's got that same feel and same look. The characters all kind of look the same. But now this game is currently still not released. It's not released on Steam yet, but it will be sometime in the future. So definitely keep an eye on it. You can actually go to Steam right now and set this to let you know when it's available. You can also put it on your wish list. This is a game I'm definitely going to be getting in the full version once it comes out. But I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a gameplay of what we can do so far. I'm hoping that things pick up a little bit, but let's jump into it. Let's start a new game, and we're going to start generating a world. This is the really cool thing about this game. I like the fact that this is a randomly generated world. We're stuck on an asteroid, and we have to try and survive. Now, like I said, I like it because of the fact that it's randomly generated. So even if you lose, you can jump back in, or even if you beat it or feel like you've beat it. I don't think there's actually a way to beat the game. I think you just go as long as you possibly can. But this is our start screen. So we have 3 characters that we're going to start off with. And some of the key factors and things that you need to look at are their skills, the skill sets that they have, what they are. I mean, this is a level 7 runner, so we have a +7 in athletics. This one's a level 6 architect, so we have 6 in construction, level 6 bodybuilder, 6 in strength. Some of the key things I look at when I'm picking characters to start off with is the decor expectations. I don't want those too high, so these actually are not good numbers for me. Other things, you want to look at their traits. Some of them are pretty bad. Some of them aren't as bad. Yokels, not that bad. Narcoleptics, not that bad. And gastrophobia is not that bad as well. I don't think so. Stress responses. We have 2 different kinds. We only see one here. We have vomiters and we have destruction people. Destructive. Both are bad. These people vomit, which causes stress on other people in the game. It also causes stress on them because they're walking through nasty old vomit. And the destructive characters will destroy things that you don't need destroyed. Either way it goes, you're going to have to repair something if this guy gets ticked off. You're going to have to clean up vomit if this person gets ticked off. One way or the other, you're doing something if you let the stress levels get too high, which does happen. So don't feel bad about it if it does. Amphibious, these are our traits that are good. This person's amphibious. This duplicate moves as quickly underwater as they do on land. These guys can go underwater. They lose oxygen. They'll come back up. They'll pant a little bit, but it's okay. Now, let's go ahead. We're going to start trying to sift through these and find some good characters. This one, 5 decor expectation. I'm okay with that because of the fact this person has mole hands. Look at the stats on this character. This is an absolutely awesome character. I would prefer to get 0s or in the negatives on the decor expectations, but I'm going to take the 5 on that one because that's such a good character. This one here has a -10, but really we don't need anybody that's creative or medicine starting off right out the gate. This person is perfect. He's a yokel, which is, somebody that's from my neck of the woods. This duplicate isn't the brightest star in the sky, cannot perform research, which is fine right now, because by the time we get to that point, we'll be making it just fine. This person can't cook. So this person can cook. We have cooking in 1. That's good. But they can't research. This person can research. So these 2 kind of cancel each other out in the bad aspects. This one, narcolept. I don't think I want to keep her because she's got 6 in strength. The strength attribute determines a duplicate's carrying capacity and combat effectiveness. I'm not really too worried about that. So we're going to shuffle. And I think we're going to stick with this one. That's pretty good. So we got 5. This one kind of cancels the rest of them out. So that's pretty good. So we're good there. She'll have 6 learning and 3 dig. So she kind of makes up for the yokel too. Which is kind of weird because the yokel has attributes in learning as well, which makes no sense whatsoever. But I've played this before. This isn't my first go around, so I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit of wisdom on what I've done so far. Let's name our colony. let's just call this Asteroid Grave. Let's embark. And now we've already got everything set up. It set everything up for us before we got in here. And now we're going to get the little introduction screen. Alert! Your crew has awoken miles underground in the dark depths of space. They have no recollection of how they got here. It might be best to start digging. So we're going to begin. I'm going to pause it right off the bat. First thing you're going to do, every single time, you're going to end up in this little tiny square box. It's not really a square box. It's like a Lego. Looks like a Lego. But we're going to build. So we have to start digging. It doesn't matter which side you start digging on. What really matters sometimes is what you end up spawned around. You don't always end up spawned around good things. Sometimes your water will be way down here and you have to dig to get to it. There's other little things too we'll pick up on here in just a second. This actually looks like a pretty good start to me. But we can see the first thing that popped up here. Colony requires toilets. Now, we could just dig straight over. And we've got a water source right here. And we're good to go. I think I want to dig over this way though. And down. That way that I have space to put stuff in. Because we want to build a base too. So let's zoom in here. And we're going to start digging. I usually like to keep it at rows of 3 across. Like this. Just a 3 row. And then you have the minimum amount of height that you can actually get with being able to place stuff in the early stages. But this room already starts out as a 4 because it's got a huge structure in it with our printing pod, which we will get more duplicates every 1500 seconds. So we're going to go ahead and dig out 4 on this because the room is already a 4. And what we're going to get from doing this digging is we're going to get resources. We have sandstone here, and we're also going to get, I believe this is sand. Yeah, sand. So, and a little bit of dirt, which is going to be good for the first thing we have to build, which is the toilet. The toilet's going to be our main objective for getting that going. But we don't want to have it sitting right there. We don't want the crapper right next to the little entry point, so that whenever our duplicates come in, that's the first thing they do is get hit in the face with a big wafty, stinky, smelly turd. You know, we don't want that smell coming at them. But we're going to find that in one of these sections here in the plumbing. We don't have the resources to build. We don't have the resources to build anything currently. So we're going to unpause and let these guys go to town. As you can see, we've got our little multi-tools here. And they're going to just go to town on things. These are the same tools they're going to use for everything in the game. So no worries on trying to upgrade your characters. They will upgrade themselves. You start off with these nifty little messages, but we're not going to read any of those because we don't need to. Now, duplicants do not like walking on jagged rocks. We can see that from this with the tile section. We click the tiles, it gives us an explanation. Used as wall and floor to build rooms. Run speed is plus 50%, plus 5 for decor, which we're going to need a little bit of decor because one of our guys requires it. Duplicates find these tiles easier on the feetsies than jagged bedrock. I mean, I would too, so I just screwed up. Cancel that out, no issue. They didn't start building on it. If you're going full out, it's going to be a lot more difficult because they're going to end up pushing things a lot faster because you can increase the speed on this quite a bit. We're going to zoom out just a little bit. See, we've got Ada stuck up here, and I have no clue where my third person is. Where? Oh, they're both stuck up there. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to dig. Let them dig themselves down. Because this sand is absolutely awful. Doesn't matter where you end up at in the game, sand will fall regardless. If we go down here and we only dig 3, the sand's going to fall. So you're going to be 4 anyway. But we're only going to do 3. So we can actually, let's go ahead. We're going to speed things up some. Because I want to try and get down to our water source. We're going to try and cover as many of our basic bases as we possibly can in this episode. You want to go ahead and finish that off. Usually they fall into a category that needs to be dug, so the characters, your little duplicates, they're gonna continue to dig those anyway. But we want to go ahead and build down. That's my ultimate goal. So we're going to build down. And in the true nature of this, we've got 1, 2, 3. That's how I like to do it. So you build out. This is what I always do. I always build out my little tile section first, which I went way too far. There's so many other things on this game that lets you retract what you were doing, but the tiles do not. So if you put too many tiles down, you end up having to do more work. But we're going to get down here to the water. I don't want to go any lower. See, if we go down 1, 2, 3, 4, we're actually in the water, and that's not a good situation for me. So we'll just build our ladder down into the water, because our duplicates can actually go in the water, and we've actually got a really huge water source here, which is totally awesome to me. And then once they get that done, I'm going to continue to build out here, because I really don't want that toilet too close to everything that's going on. But I don't want to go any further over either, because we're starting to get into the granite and these other little sections. You'll see that like these little biomes start to change slowly. This is mostly just coal and copper ore, dirt, algae, sandstones, and things of that nature. But the further over that we go, things start to change. And that's when the air starts to get a little bit worse. So they've done that. They're good there. Okay, let's build this over some. And they fell asleep on me. That's fine. That's fine. Perfectly fine first day. No issues. It's not going to cause any problems. We need this dugout's the problem. This is why they stopped. I didn't think they would quit. I thought there was going to be more time to actually explain things. But usually you don't have a problem with them starting to go to the bathroom on themselves, which that can be the last priority. We can do this first. So you can set your priorities higher than these. They'll do the 9s before they do the 5s. We want to build a bathroom, because I really don't feel like cleaning up after them. They will use the bathroom literally wherever they can go if you don't build a bathroom. So we're going to build the bathroom for them, or let them build the bathroom rather. Is it stopping them from doing it? Yep. It stopped them from doing it. So we need to dig 9 priority. And once that gets done, then we'll throw the outhouse down. Some stuff you can throw down, and it's not an issue. We also need this to be a priority, because I don't want them going into the water supply. That would be a bad day. Oh, the water supply busted. That was not of our doing. It happened on its own. So it's pretty good that we're actually building this all the way down, because the water is going to be spread out over 2 sections. And they made a mess in the water. That is spectacular. Now we have contaminated water, which is not usable. So we're not going to be able to use that, but it is what it is. This is clean water, though, which is really kind of surprising. I don't understand why we have that. But this up here is different. Okay, well, beds. Next big key thing is we need beds. So we're going to build out here just a little bit. I think we're only going to have enough space to be able to do just the beds for the duplicates that we have. These I know for a fact you can actually place down before. None of these guys are heavy sleepers, so I'm only going to put like a space in between. I'm actually only going to put a space in between. Give me a cancel. Okay, it's canceled. Good. I didn't want to cancel all the digging. I wanted to cancel the bed. None of these guys are heavy sleepers. If they're heavy sleepers, you have to put them like 3 spaces apart from each other, or else they wake each other up. So we've got our bed systems going. We're good. They'll have somewhere to sleep, but we have no oxygen here. This is horrible. This is carbon dioxide. The red is always carbon dioxide. This is breathable, but it's barely breathable. We are not making enough oxygen is the problem. Now we could go down here and dig this out, which will bring in this really good breathable oxygen, because the oxygen is lighter than everything else, and you can see it work its way through here. And this is heavier than everything else, so this should make its way down. I probably should pause this so that we're not going so fast while I'm explaining things. But this oxygen will definitely make its way up. But it's going to expand more than what it is now. So we need to figure out a way to build a power source. Now, for power, we need raw metal, which is going to be copper. We need copper, which we saw here in abundance, and there is some actually down here in abundance as well. But I don't want to build down further this way, so we're probably going to go down this way to get to it. It's not so bad. This little guy, he's a crap. He's a hatch. He's going to eat us if we go down and we try to work where he's at. But this is our ultimate goal, because the next step is being able to build our power supplies and our food supply. We need a microbe musher to be able to build food. But we can't do that yet because we do not have the copper resources. We really ended up in a terrible place with the copper placement right now. So let's go ahead and get our ladder built down. This one's going to take a lot because we're going to need to get all the way down to the copper, and there is no other copper here until you get down to the very bottom here. So what we're going to end up with is building to here, and then I'm going to take my tiles across, and we are going to end up running into that little sucker too. I'm going to take my tiles across all the way to the end of the copper line there, and I'm going to take my tiles all the way across to the end of this as well, because we're going to need that. And then I need to go down more for me. It's going to make things work out better for me. And then we'll grab as much copper as we possibly can by doing this. And you can make it go faster if you want to. I'm just trying to take things a little bit slow so you guys can keep an eye on what's happening, so that you guys know how to work this. See, we've got 3 here. Now, what are they working on currently? I hear them. Okay, they're working on this. So let's speed things up. How long till the next duplicate? 300. So we actually need to dig out enough space here. I've got 1 space in between, so I need 2 here, and we need to prep. I don't like digging into this stuff because there's a possibility of the gases being a lot different in this. So we can see unreachable. There's nothing. It just says buried object, which usually means that there is like some kind of terrible thing in there, like gases and stuff. But we need to do this, so we're going to prioritize this, because we have to get ready for the next duplicate by placing a bed down. So we're going to do that. We're going to speed things up here. Let this duplicate come in and have somewhere to sleep. So we need to build another cot, which isn't, it's not too bad on the resources. So, but we have no O2, so we have no oxygen. So we need to get the oxygen going, which is what we're trying to do. Okay, that was a good thing that fell there. That's actually food. But we're going to get this down to the copper. And once we have the copper, we're going to be doing pretty good. So I want to prioritize this. Little guys are just going to have to deal, man. I'm sorry. I hate doing this to you guys. But this is what we have to do. This is main priority, getting that copper. It was either go down or go up. Up would have probably been more... It would have been quicker to go up, but we want somewhere for the nasty carbon dioxide to go to. So it's alright. It's alright. All the carbon dioxide is going to go down to this room from this area. Over here, not so much. It's going to all settle in this section. Or it should. It should all settle in that section, but it looks like it's settling right around our beds, which is not good, but we're going to take care of that once we get the power supply going as well. You want to put down some algae deoxidizers, which we will be able to get. Now we're going to choose another duplicate so we can try to make this stuff go by faster. This guy we don't want whatsoever. I don't care. Dimensionally inept is awful. Small bladder is awful as well. But I'm looking at the decor more than anything else. Iron Gut's not too bad, but dimensionally inept means that they cannot build. Small bladder means they're going to be going to poo and pee a lot more. Narcoleptic I like. That's fine. And he has mole hands. These are good stats. 0 decor. I'm printing him. That's the duplicate that I want. This is just what I do. You guys can, like I said, you can do pretty much whatever you want to on this to try and build your way through it. This is just how I do it. Up, up. We need to attack. Not dig. We need to attack. 2 of you will actually be able to, well, 3 now. 3 will be able to attack. So we're going to kill that guy. And he is worth meat. If he doesn't go ahead and dig himself back down into the ground. Which I don't think he's going to. He's not going to make it. Nope. Good deal. So they can actually eat him. And it's unrefrigerated. So it could spoil. So we need to sweep that whenever we get a chance. And they should take it up and put it in this little box. I don't think the ration box is a cold storage. Stores a small amount of food. Storing food in a box seems rational. I don't think it's cold storage though. Specific heat capacity, thermal conductivity. Doesn't really say too much whether or not it is. But we are going to be getting some... Oh, we got it. We're good. Okay. We don't have a lot though. Kilograms. We don't have a lot. So what we have to do, we need food, we need power. We're going to start off with just one. One and a battery. And then we need food. So we need the micro musher, which you want to try and get close to your water. That way it doesn't take so long for it to get to your musher. Because they're going to have to get water and dirt. And you'll see that here in just a minute whenever we actually get to the point where we can spawn in food. But you have to run your electrical wire too, and this is why we needed an abundance of copper, because this is going to take more than anything. We're just going to work our way over. See what I mean? You can back these ones up. The tiles you can't. These ones you can actually back up and go forward with. But now this needs to be priority. So we need all of this done pronto. So it looks like they're already starting to come back up. Nope, they're coming back up for sandstone. So they continue working on this, and then we set the priority down on this so that they don't have to just come down here and do it. And they'll start working up top. But this down here is just like chock full of awful, awful, awful gases. So you don't want them down here to begin with anyway. This stuff is trying to seep its way up. But we're going to take care of that. So there's no worries there. They have to go down to get the copper so that they can continue working. But we're going to fix this issue real soon. See, this right here is starting to look like it's a little bit better than it was before. But what we want to do, we want to get to the oxygen. We want to get the algae deoxidizer. And I'm only going to put one of these on each floor. One here, one here. This one is in perfect position because the copper wire is already there, so you just run it up. This one, not so much, but this is our worst area, so we have to build over to it. Now, we've got power going. They're going to finish up this micro musher, and then I'll show you guys exactly what we do with that. And it's really kind of awful. I feel really sad for these guys once you see exactly what they have to eat, but they have to eat. So we have to make food. Now that's finished. We can either make lice loaf, which we can't make right now because we don't have any meal lice, or mush bars, which is dirt and bottled water. And that is completely awful. That is absolutely completely awful. We do have seeds for the millwood seed. We have millwood seeds that we can make millwood so that we can actually produce this lice loaf with meal lice, but we need to build a research station and get to the point where we can do the planter box to be able to do that. So not quite yet. We're not quite there. So whenever they wake up, priority number one for them should be take care of this and get their oxygen back to a somewhat of a level playing ground in here. Like I said, it does say that it's breathable, but it's not exactly the breathable that you would want. Ideally, I always go for 2 of these manual generators and at least 3 of the batteries so that it lasts all through the night whenever you're first starting out. Stuff will get a little bit easier the further along that you go playing in the game. But we don't have a lot of resources right now, so I just started off with that, and that's usually the best thing to do. Just start off with the one. Once you have more resources, which we'll pick up from down here, then you can start expanding things a little bit more with the algae deoxidizer. Now, we are currently out of algae, which is awful, but not so bad because we've got algae right here. You can see it's the little green ones. So we're going to prioritize they come over here and take out that little 4-block section, because we've only got 4 of them, and we've got a whole section of algae up here, plus there's mealwood up here, so we have some mealwood lice on that as well, and they're fully developed. But we have algae there, and we have algae in here as well, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get to that until the water levels get down. So we're going to leave that alone. We also have algae here, so we're going to dig that so that we have an abundance of algae because we're going to need it. So we'll go ahead and dig that, and this. And they should be able to get all the way over to that stuff, so I'm thinking that they should be able to actually get up here to this as well. We'll see if she can actually get it. Oh, no, she's done. Okay, she left. That's okay. We're going to cancel it because they can't get to it anymore anyway, but we do have the algae that we need, so we are good. I'll probably build another level onto this. So we'll go 1, 2, and 3, and then we build over to the edge of this one, and then we build over here to that. And again, mess that up. That's okay though. Just cancel it because they're not actively working on it. There's some more copper here, and we should get most of this algae. We'll get that, and then we'll get this, and we'll take that. And it doesn't really mess with anything if you just do it like that anyway. If you still want to keep it a 3-row box, you're still good, because you're just going to build your tiles over top of this anyway. So no worries there. But we don't really want to get into the absolute abyss a lot. I don't know exactly. Absolute? I think I'm right in saying absolute. I could be completely wrong though, but whatever. We got our narcoleptic who has fallen asleep here. They are dirty. They have light wounds. And it's not too. They're not stressed though. That's the good thing about the start off period right here. They are not stressed, and we have our bed ready. Good. So everybody should have a bed, right? Where is my other person at? We've lost a person somehow. I'm still at a loss. I mean, you lose characters. You lose duplicates all the time. Like, they die. That's just how things happen. There's no problems with that. It happens. But, I mean, just to lose one out of thin air is kind of weird. But our oxygen level. See, our oxygen level here is absolutely amazing. Oxygen level here is absolutely amazing. This down here is absolutely horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Now, power. Power supplies. Okay, duplicate coming in. We need to get another one. What do we got? 10? No. 5? Okay. 15? No. Definitely not. Especially not dimensionally inept. Scaredy cat. I guess we could go with the scaredy cat. I don't really like these. I don't like any of them. You can reject, and we're going to reject on this one. I'm going to reject all of them. I don't like any of those characters. We've already got the one that's a scaredy cat. Yeah, see, she's a scaredy cat. But I don't want another one. I want some more batteries, because we're going to need this. We need this to run longer, and I want another manual generator because we have the equipment to do it. We have the knowledge. We can rebuild it. So let's build those. They'll get to it when they can. It's not really a big deal because we are producing enough just to do this little bit that we're doing. All we're doing is the microbe musher, and we're doing the algae deoxidizers, just a couple of them. And you can see there's that going. But the further along we progress, the more we're going to need stuff. And then we're going to need, in the meantime, we need to go ahead and get a station going. In your station section, you have the research station and the supercomputer. Supercomputer is for intermediary research. Research station is for novice research. This is the first thing we have to do. So we're going to go ahead and dump that down. get it in the mix ready to go. And you have to run electrical wire to that. So we're good to go there. Everything's good. We want to go ahead and prioritize because I have no idea what they're doing other than just like basic essential tasks. We're going to go ahead and prioritize that this right here gets built, and built. And the 2 extras that you see here, one of those is the power cable coming up. So you have to have the power cable initiated before you can do anything else. So we want to get some research going though. We've got food. No issue. We got food in an abundance that's coming over here. They're making more than they need, which is good. But we are going to end up running out of stuff, so we will have to expand here sometime soon. Water looks good. We are perfectly fine on water. This is nasty water, but it's okay. This down here is an absolute hellhole that nobody wants to go into. This is completely filled with crap. Carbon dioxide everywhere. But this is perfect too. This is absolutely perfect for later on in the game. So you guys will see the further along we get into things that it's going to work out beautifully. Research station is done. Here's what we got to do in the research station. We have 5 different categories to start off with. Farming tech, gas piping, liquid piping, power regulation, and interior decor. Interior decor is not really that big of a deal. Not in the early stages of it. It does some good probably to get it like maybe 3rd. Power regulation is awesome. Not a first topic that I would pick though. The battery is absolutely killer to replace the small batteries with the medium batteries, and I think that this shows potential for the game later on down the road as well because of the fact that we have small and medium batteries, but there are no large batteries once we get up here. So that shows that there's potentially more room for this to expand later on once the game actually is fully released. Now, liquid piping, you don't really get a lot of stuff. This stuff comes in handy once you can get to these things. The sanitation sciences and percolation. And then med bay and advanced filtrations. Gas piping is way later on once you make it into the other sections. Farming tech is where you want to start off at though, because we want to try and take advantage of our seeds with the planter boxes. And the algae terrariums are huge, the huge thing. We don't even have to go into the fine dining right off the bat. But we want to go into getting the algae terrarium. So the farming tech is definitely it. Recycles carbon dioxide into a small amount of oxygen. That's why I said that little area down there was perfect. Because all of the bad gases, the carbon dioxide, not so much the toxic gases, but at least the carbon dioxide, they tend to like to go down. They like to flow down while the actual breathable oxygen usually tries to make its way up. So to me, it's like the bad red stuff is usually heavier than the lighter stuff. So it's going to make its way up. And that's like a perfect placement for these algae terrariums down there in that huge, awful spot of nasty carbon dioxide. So we should be able to do that. And whenever this is just like the mush bars, you don't want to just click on mush and fabricate because you're only going to get one. You have to do the continuous fabricate. So we're going to do the same thing here with this research station, novice research, continuous. You don't want to just do 1 or 2. You want to go ahead and just let it do its thing. Let it just keep going as much as it possibly can. And that's really about it for like the basics of actually starting out this game. We're looking pretty good. The place that we started out at is not exactly the best in the world. I would potentially like more algae, but there are other solutions to the algae down the road if we have to do it that way. And in the next episode, we'll definitely be getting to the first research being done and being able to put down some algae terrariums. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the game. Hopefully you look forward to it coming out. I am. You can go over to Steam right now if you want to, and you can put it on your wish list so that when it pops up, it's good to go. I'm going to be getting it. I don't think the price point's going to be absolutely too high on it, but we'll see how things go when they come out. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for the first episode of Oxygen not included on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, hopefully you did enjoy it. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Later.